Log into gyroscopeme.com, the hottest online radio station in the world. GS Radio all day, all night, worldwide. Powered by Gyroscope Media Group, LLC.
GS Radio, the best internet radio station worldwide. Providing the best in music and talk shows. Go to www.gsradionj.com and check out the best internet station in the world. You're listening to GS Radio Internet Radio Station powered by GMG, LLC.
Get ready, get ready, get ready, ladies and gentlemen. DJ Dan with Soulful House Nation coming to you live from the 8th floor. Wow. What a great show we have lined up today. You know, as usual, we're going to do a quick little recap. Then we're going to tell you about the hottest song according to Track Source in the Soulful House category. We'll play a classic, and then we're going to come on with our very, very special guest here, Mr. Nathan Smalls. Now, when I tell you this is a special guest, you're going to see why as we start to have the conversation with him. We'll play a classic, and then after this, as you know, we're going to go into our Shazam Free Zone. We're going to play some music, and of course, we're going to tell you what it is. Now, also, I want to just give a big shout-out to King T Finesse and Ariel Shante for putting our theme song together. Also, we have a website. On it's called SoulfulHouseNation.com. We also have a YouTube channel, Soulful House Nation, Instagram, Soulful House Nation. Sign up. Facebook group, Soulful House Nation. Sign up. So, chat. According to Track Source, the number one song in the Soulful House category is by Robin S. called I Believe. Can you play a little bit of it? And as usual, let me play a little snippet because, you know, Facebook has this nasty little habit of shutting us off and cutting us down. So, chat, here we go. Bringing it down before Facebook brings us down. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that track is Robin S.'s new track. It's called I Believe. Now, let me give you a few updates about what is happening. I need to tell you, Northern New Jersey has got to be the most active, if one is not the most active spot in terms of doing events, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to tell you that this weekend coming, forget about it. This weekend is an incredible weekend. I mean, when you look at all the stuff that's happening this weekend, okay, here we go. I'm going to read some stuff to you. Give me one moment. Now, starting starting this week, I'm going to tell you what's happening. You got new tracks by Crystal Lavelle. It's called Blessed by Your Love. Also, we have Vanessa L. Smith has got a new track out called Brothers and Sisters. All right. Then we've got Kenny Bolbian, who I saw last night. Crystal Lavelle I saw last night. Kenny Bolbian has a new album coming out. That's happening. Okay, now, also tonight, DJ Beloved, Marmar, and DJ Amir are going to be at the True Lounge in Newark. Then you have on the 14th, Antoine Qua and SMB are going to start the Tuesdays every week after Tuesdays in Irvington. That's going to be going down starting tomorrow night. That's going to be at 1 Civic Square in Irvington. Then yours truly, Dan Shiver, DJ Daniel, will be on the Dollhouse on Wednesday from 7 to 9. I promise to bring it. Then you have the After Work Wednesdays with Dawood, that's in Military Park. Then, of course, this weekend, we're going to have the BE Festival in Atlantic City Showboat. And our special guest is going to speak directly to that. On the 17th, for Juneteenth, we have Absolute, AB Salute. He's going to be in City Hall Plaza in Rawway. Rock Anthony is going to be there, Crew Parrish, Rob Andrews, and Will G. Then we're going to have, also on the 19th, we have Gospel on the Grass. That's Gospel House Music Awards ceremony. Then the BE Praise Festival in Atlantic City. That's Brooklyn Media. All right, we're going to talk about that. Then there's a pre-Father's Day thing on House on the Boardwalk, and that's going to be in Midland Beach and Staten Island. The Clipper Pavilion also they're going to have another event in Clipper Pavilion that's in West Orange. Then on the 19th also, you're going to have in Seagirt Boulevard, and that's going to be in Queens, and that's going to be the Rockaway Beach House. June 18th, also the Rapkin Park in Union. June 18th, Restoration, that's DJ Jawandi and DJ Nubian and the Brooklyn. June 19th, if you're in Columbus, Georgia, or heading that way, then DJ Musa is going to be doing a thing, the 6th Annual Heritage Arts Festival. Then June 20th, Arlington Park, that's in Jersey City. Rock Anthony, DJ Algebra are going to be on the tip. Then June 24th to the 26th, the Red Rooster Sports Bar. Kelly Kell, our very own DJ Amir will be there. Then on June 25th, the All White Affair in Linden, Timmy Regisford, Merlin Bob, and Mark Lewis. That's just a little bit of stuff that's happening here. So listen, let's do this. Let's play our old school song of the week, and then we're going to bring on our special guest, ladies and gentlemen, Nathan Smalls. Yes, Chuck. Let's hear our old school song. It's ESG Moody. We're going to play a clip it as usual because there's a nasty little habit of shutting us down. Shutting us down and muting us out. And we have, ladies and gentlemen, tell everybody, we're going live with Nathan Smalls. Everybody go, yeah! Woo! Woo! Wow, this is exciting. Nathan, how are you, sir?
I am doing wonderful. Glad to be on Soulful House Nation. So Absolutely. I'm excited.
Good. So we're going to start off with the easy stuff first. You know, just for the people who don't know you, just tell us a little bit about you. Let us meet you.
To sum it all up, I'm a nice guy.
Okay, I can feel that.
No, so I'm a product, born in the Bronx, New York, as most our parents, migrated from the South. Dad is from families from Beaufort, South Carolina.
All right.
That's the Smalls. Mom is from North Carolina. They met up here in New York, and born in the Bronx, grew up on 165th, Amsterdam, right over by Sherman's Barbecue. And then we moved in Teaneck in 1967.
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay.
grew up in New Jersey. Town of Teaneck was wonderful. I had the pleasure of living there for many years, and then also getting a chance to live in other parts of the country. So, that's kind of that's my upbringing, and that's where my musical influences started as well.
All right. Well, so who were some of your early music influences?
This is the crazy story, because I know we're going to get into more of it, but here's the crazy story. I was 4 years old when I moved to Teaneck. We lived on Van Arsdale Place,
Okay.
Teaneck, New Jersey, which is now named Isley Brothers Way.
Okay. All right.
So I grew up directly across the street from Ronald Isley.
Uh-huh.
I was 4 years old, and then on the top of my 4 houses up from me on the same side, Dizzy Gillespie had a home.
Wow. Okay.
And then at the top of the block, when we moved there, 67, I believe in June or July, he stayed there till December, but James Brown was on the other corner.
Hey!
So you don't realize it when you're young, because I was 4 years old, but the Ronald Isley had the only pool on the block. And so they moved in, I think a year after we did. And I just remember my mom and dad and them up there playing cards. As I think about it now, I was jumping in the pool, chasing one of the daughters around. I won't mention her name because she's happily married. And but I remember that, and I remember seeing Sylvia Robinson over there. There was George Benson there. Those folks playing cards, and you don't really know the impact it has on you until you get older in life. And so I'm thankful. Chuck Jackson, Milt Jackson, they all used to come by Ronald's house and hang out. And as a kid, you don't think about that stuff. You're playing, having fun, and you're watching your parents and them do what they do. So it started way back then.
Well, speaking of Teaneck, I lived in Teaneck for about 7 or 8 years. I know nothing about Teaneck, because only thing I did in Teaneck, I'd go there to go to sleep, and I'd be back in Patterson every day. I'm originally from Patterson, back in Patterson. So small world. Now you have lots of businesses, and not limited to Brooklyn media, but I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold off on that for a minute and get into now you've worked in different music genres, hip hop, R&B, gospel, and more. Now, how did you make the connection to house music?
So let's go back earlier. Actually, that's probably where I started. So as a young kid, that's probably where I started, and that is because I'm the youngest of four children, and I as a baby, when I first started being able to hit the club and go out, my older brothers and sisters took me to the Paradise Garage.
Oh, okay.
So I got exposed to Larry Levan, T. Scott. I saw Madonna there when she came out with her Holiday, and so though Timmy Regisford, all those guys that were instrumental in building the genre of house. So I got exposed to that first. I never drank that punch.
Okay.
Never had the punch.
Okay.
Never hung out in the movie room too much, but it was a great experience. I remember going in, partying, hanging out, and coming out in the daytime.
Okay.
Going at night.
Wow.
So my first experience really was house music, and so I've always had a love for it.
Okay. Now, wow. So then, since you've been around it so where do you see house music headed?
I had this conversation with Steve Craig.
Okay.
Chit chat a lot, and there are a lot of great artists. I think we have and this is we have what we call the house heads, your traditional folks who've been in these trenches for years and years. I think the success of the genre really is going to lie on developing and experiencing new talent. I like to see new artists come out, make new records. I think it's all predicated on the fact of bringing in new energy, because we all don't last forever.
Right.
And so I think we have to broaden the music base. I know we don't call house, they got the electric dance, the EDM stuff but I think we have to expose more of our young folks to it and cultivate new artists. I think that's going to be the only way that any music survives, because it changes. We have classics, we have our old jazz, but as a thriving entity, I don't think the music is too important and too valuable to become a 45, if you know what I mean, or an 8-track. I think there's so much more out there for the genre. So I'm excited with it. I've heard some new artists coming out, and so I'm excited for it. I just think, we've got to showcase that more and put those type of artists out to shows like yours, play them more, introduce people to some new house artists out, and add them to shows.
Now, let me ask you a question. Along the lines, you just mentioned EDM. So, in other words, here's my question to you, just to kind of follow up on that question. Do you think that either we're going to change the sound or have to be open to changes in the sound to be able to get that new and attract more people? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, just think about our parents' music. And where it's grown at today. Right? We have the classics. We have, all of the classics. My parents grew up, Al Green, Chuck Berry, what was it, Diana Washington, and music, it changes. So I think it's inevitable. Like I said, I think if we don't open the doors and listen, yes, there's traditional great house records, no doubt about it. But however, the success, if we're talking about, there's two ways to approach this. Are we talking about the music business, or are we talking about the culture of listening to great? Because those two things are separate. Are we talking about developing artists, selling records, performances, concerts? Because you can live and play, as we do now, right? We have a lot of artists that, are still touring, still making money, doing successful. The crowds are certainly there because we have them at the BE Festival. But if we're talking about the business of music, right? Because there's business behind it, and that side of it, then there's got to be growth opportunities. There certainly has to be an acceptance of different type of sounds and different type of music that's being played and how it's produced.
Okay.
And that's the business side of it.
Okay. Now, I think I increased the volume. Can everybody hear me? Because I got some people say my volume was low. So I just want to know if everybody can hear me. All right. Now let's go about you have many businesses, including but not limited to Brooklyn media and sports marketing. Talk to us a little bit about some of the businesses you're in, and then we're going to go a little deeper, take a deeper dive into some of the stuff that you're doing now.
Okay, yeah. So my career I've been lucky that I started out doing shows locally in town, right? At 18, 19, I used to do talent shows. I did one at Dwight Moore High School back in, the mid 80s. And got my first check, the Harlem School of the Arts, doing parties in New York. And I think a lot of that comes from what I saw growing up. Like I said, I was hit with the music bug. Everyone saw the movie Brown Sugar.
Sure.
I fell in love with hip hop. Like I said, I grew up right across the street from Ronald Isley. And I think that was really my influences. My parents love music. I think it's in my blood. So, I've managed artists before. I've written songs, records. I love sport. Just my business, I can't trap it into a box because things lead into other things. Because I was great at producing shows, I had the opportunity to work with, recording artists and management. And then that led into me representing a WNBA basketball player, Chantel Tremitiere.
Okay.
Tim Thomas, who used to play for the Knicks but Milwaukee Bucks, I helped him launch the Shed Light Foundation. And in Patterson, actually, where you're from,
he's from
we did We actually did Tim's. I forgot the. I think it was 2006. We had a celebrity softball game in Patterson in Eastside Park, and
Right.
so I brought in Allen Iverson, Tracy McGrady, and we did that with Benji right
Benji
there.
Wimberly.
We did it with Benji and Tim spearheaded. That got me into sports. I used to manage 3 of the Nike freestyle basketball players. So you remember that Nike commercial that came out was dribbling, and they were doing all the tricks with the ball, and you heard the sneakers going. So I represented 3 of those, which led me into doing halftime shows for several NBA teams. So it's been an evolution because you did something like this, someone respected your work and opened the door for something else.
Gotcha.
And then it was all fun. And then I really decided to turn this into a business. And that's how Brooklyn Media Group was formed. So, today we have the festivals. We have several expos that travel the country. I have a book coming out
Wow.
about my life. I'm super excited about that being published. It was Random House, I think now with HarperCollins. Super excited about that. So yeah, it's just been the love of, I've been blessed to do what I love. Never been easy, but when truly, when you do what you love, you really never work a day in your life. However, I will warn folks that you actually work harder than you ever will in your life, right? Because you have to create a check out of thin air. There's no payday on Friday. If you don't work and you're not creative, you starve. And I've had many starving nights. But you know what? I'm thankful that God continues to bless me. And it gets easier when you follow the plan.
It's funny you should say that because this is a business where, when you're self-employed or you're self-driven, you're an entrepreneur, you eat what you kill, so to speak. And that's and I got to tell you, as a person who's been an entrepreneur for most of my life, it's good to hear you acknowledge that, hey, wait a minute, it's not always been easy. And sometimes, as they say, the month runs longer than the money, and you still got to get it figured out. Now, most people who get in that situation, they get in a tough stretch, they think, okay, how can I get a job or how can I get a raise? But entrepreneurs say, how can I find or how can I make another deal? Or how can I put something together? So it's a little different mindset. You agree with that? Or?
No, absolutely. It's always about growing, reinventing yourself. For me, it's always been the biggest key. I believe in myself.
Hey.
So that's the number one thing. And I also, and that comes from, my parents, entrepreneurial spirit, and then the pressure of being a small. So, and I don't take that lightly because my great grandfather was Robert Smalls. And if you look him up in the history books, one of the first African Americans, United States Congress, out of South Carolina, elected to several terms. He's responsible for taking that Confederate ship, guiding it through and turning it over to the Northern forces, and Abraham Lincoln, because of those efforts, integrated the Union Army. And so we were always told about those things and the rich history. My uncle, the late Reverend Leonard Smalls out of Philadelphia, founded 59th Street Baptist Church, one of the largest African-American churches at the time, the largest in Philadelphia, ran for mayor against Frank Rizzo in the 70s. And my aunt now is the current president and CEO of United Bank of Philadelphia.
Okay.
So there's always been a sense of you have to go out, produce, work hard, not make excuses. And so win, lose, or whether we have a longer month than the paycheck, I've always believed in myself. Right. And that's where it starts, where, I believe in myself. Right. I know that I'm capable. I know that I've gotten the tools. And you just have to keep going and not give up. Right. And that's really all it's about, because there's going to be down times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
Oh, yeah.
you have to prepare for those.
Okay, I could testify to that.
Amen.
Wow. Wow. You know, I'm glad we're having this conversation. We're going to go deeper into some of the things that you've done, like some of the artists and people that you've worked with over the years. Tell us some people that you've worked with over the years.
Oh man.
Just yeah, whoever comes to the top.
So we want to go recording artists. Well, I think the biggest project I worked on is I was managing a guy, Mark Dorsey. We created R&B Live.
Mm-hmm.
We had 2003, the collaboration with LL Cool J on a record called Love You Better.
Okay. Uh-huh.
That record stayed on Billboard #1 charts for 14 weeks. At #1 in the world, right? So Billboard, that record was number 1, nominated for a Grammy, Best Rap R&B Collaboration.
Okay.
So I'm extremely proud of that project because, you know, how often do projects you work on get nominated for Grammys? So that's by your peers. I don't think it gets any better than that. And I remember walking the red carpet with Mark, and we ultimately lost that Grammy to Beyonce and Jay-Z, Dangerously in Love.
Well,
but if you're gonna lose it, we had the bigger record because we stayed on the charts, I think, a couple of weeks longer than they did. But I think they were a bigger dynamic duo.
Without a doubt, that's what.
That played a role in it. But Mark, you know what? I've had a chance to work with Cuba Gooding Sr.
Okay.
I produced a concert for in Charlotte. That was a wonderful experience. I produced a show for local here, Gordon Chambers, and then some of the bigger artists. You know, working at a record label, was on tour with everybody. So from Montel Jordan to who wasn't it? I've worked on. I had the very fortunate opportunity doing street promotions at MCA Records. Okay. So I was on tour with almost every artist. I can't name. You know, there's so many. There is absolutely so many records that I worked. Wow. That you forget them all. It's a lot. It's absolutely a lot.
Wow.
And I've met every artist. So I have my favorites for very few reasons. And my son, who continues in my legacy today, he's more into that, but he's the PR and rep Shaka Khan. Lee Daniels, Kelly Rowland, Erykah Badu, Jill Scott. And so it's been a family business. It's been a family business for me. And I'm blessed. I'm super blessed.
Now, here's a very ticklish question in the Soulful House community. And this question, and I'm sure if you talk to Stephen Craig, or if you talk to Steve Davis, talk to any of that group, you've probably had this conversation come up. As a matter of fact, Momo, who is on the live now, and I did a show about it, come back a couple years. What are your thoughts about free events versus paid events as a person who's in the business that's got to generate cash to keep these things going? I mean,
great
what's
question.
Your thoughts?
No, I'm going to tell you, honestly, there is no such thing as a free event.
Okay.
Let's be clear about that.
Okay.
Number one, because nothing is free.
Right.
Nothing is free. It's a matter of who pays for it.
There you go.
So even if you do an event, say, you know, Montclair or any one of these county festivals, right? There's fire, police, there's sanitation. Somebody is picking up the bill, right? I can guarantee you that. It's a matter of who picks it up, right? So you could be doing a local city event where, you know, the budget is in the city, but if you have police officers, fire, you have sanitation, those workers are getting paid to be out there and do that. So the money is coming from somewhere. So I don't subscribe to free events. It's more of who's paying for the event. Now, if you're talking about from an artist perspective, we can touch on stuff like this. Like say, I heard that, and she said it, I guess, Mary J. Blige said she wasn't paid per se for the Super Bowl. right? She did that promotionally, and
Right.
for a lot of reasons, right? So because you're on a stage that big, and she says it too. It's brought her other paid opportunities. So
Right. Right.
when you when you appear on Jimmy Fallon,
Right.
or you're doing a concert, what you will get, because like even their DJs or the dancers, you get the after money, right?
Right.
So
Got you.
you get that check, you fill out the form when the show is over, right? A couple weeks later, a month later. I think the appearance, if you use a record, is 1,500 or something. But the artists do these things because it lets people know you're out and working, and it's publicity. And let's
Right.
not forget, publicity costs money.
Right.
So this is a way you exchange a service or something that you have a value as your talent in exchange for the publicity. And I do recommend to artists that you can pick and choose the events that you do for free if we're talking about that aspect of it. And then I want to add another piece to that.
Okay.
I don't consider myself a promoter. I find myself in the promoter role, of course, but I will pay you $1 million to show up and do a concert. Absolutely have. And I've been in management. I manage NBA players. I manage recording artists. So I'm an artist advocate. However, your value is based on how many tickets you could sell.
Right.
I think a lot of artists' egos are inflated. I should get this, but there's a difference between work for hire, where I'm getting married and I'm having a band at the wedding. It's not their job to sell tickets. It's a work for hire event. It's a DJ thing. But now if we're talking about the artist and again entertainment business, then your value to receive a check is 100% tied to how many tickets that you could sell. If you sell 50 tickets, your value is 50 tickets. But keep in mind, artists don't want to hear this.
Right.
Out of that 50 tickets, there's a venue cost that comes out of that, security, sound. So you're really worth one ticket.
Right.
You've got work to do and marketing to do from a promoter standpoint. So I think we have to really understand, and I tell artists this all the time. I say, listen, it's not my job to make you money and I go poor.
Right.
I'm in the business to make money.
Preach.
Right? So it's not my job to have an event, give you a big check, and then I take a loss every time. That tells me you weren't a big enough draw as you think you are. And so, super tours, when you get into super tours, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Patty, the bigger artists like that, when they were touring, Michael Jackson, that payroll is hefty.
Right.
Venue costs, marketing costs, advertising, staff, security, merchandising, the insurance you have to carry. All of that comes out of your paycheck before you get paid. So these artists are generating, a tour could, one stop. If an artist gets 2 million, that stop at Madison Square Garden where maybe Usher or Michael Jackson or Janet would have got 2 million. Really, the thing probably did about 6 million.
Got you.
And by the time you cut that out, the promoters might make 600, 500,000, 600. Some of that is subsidized by, sponsorship and stuff like that. But again, it's the artist's ability to sell.
Putting butts in seats is the absolute end of the conversation when it comes to this. And then what you also got to add in there, you've got a partner, a built-in partner, whether you realize it or not. Matter of fact, he's a relative, but he never says thank you. You never get a holiday card, a birthday card.
I know where you're going. And if you don't pay him,
that's right.
and if you don't give him his cut, that's the second side of it. You better, he gets paid first.
He gonna come looking for you, or he gonna send somebody looking for you. Of course,
we're
talking about.
And it's happened to the biggest of them too.
Yes, including Mary, and Fat Joe, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You go on and on and on.
Well, Ron Isley spent a couple of years in prison.
Yeah.
Ronald Isley, Wesley Snipes spent some years behind bars, and that's the educational. See, a lot of artists now, social media has distorted, to me, the worth and the value, because one, you're going to buy 1 million likes. And I've seen this 1 million times. I've seen this currently. You know, and I don't want to name any names, but I've seen people, 100,000 followers.
Right.
And sell a record. You got a record.
Right.
Oh, I got 100,000 followers. I need $100,000.
Right.
Well, if that's the case, you would produce and put your own music out and produce your own concerts and cut the middleman out. The reason why you don't do that, because social media popularity does not equal seats filled.
Gotcha.
It's a myth. It's a myth. Because you have a ton of followers does not mean you're able to move them off social media into a ticket buying situation.
Right.
I've seen it fail 1 million times.
Right. And hey, and it comes down to, can you put butts in the seats? And if you can't do that, then you got to get somebody who just likes you, as opposed to, this is what it is. I mean, just to this point, before we move on to the next subject, all right, a lot of people get very upset because they say, oh, it's the usual suspects at the event. In other words, what I mean by that is that they say that, hey, look, they always have the same certain people on the ticket. But what you got to realize, too, is that those same people are the usual suspects, pack the place. You know what you're getting when you get them. It's like if you buy McDonald's in Patterson, New Jersey, or you buy it in Osaka, Japan, which I've done. You know when they say a Big Mac, you know what you're getting. You know that person who is that person who is a headliner, you know that they're going to bring people are going to show up, and you know that they're going to do a good job. And if you want to break into that, then you got to realize that, hey, you at some level, unless somebody likes you, you're going to have to do the same thing. In addition to that, and so I see a lot of people get frustrated and upset about it, but I also heard Steve Davis say, he says, well, what are you bringing to the table? You can play? Okay, great. I got a lot of DJs that can play. But what are you bringing to the table? Are you packing the place? Is money changing hands because you came in the door? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you got to really, really, really look at that and work on that. So I don't know. What are your thoughts? And we'll go to the next one after this.
Well, no, it's really, really simple. Modern technology has replaced the ability to learn your craft. Right? You have a lot of instant grits out here from a lot of folks.
Right.
And so as a educated consumer, if I'm gonna pay, $200 for a concert ticket, I want a show. I'm not coming to stand in and see you stand against the wall and hold the bottle in your hand and yo shout around. No, I better get a show for $100 ticket. I think we don't A&R artists anymore on any genre. And I think the quality has absolutely been watered down. And so I think, that's just a mark of where we are in music. I do feel good though, because I know that there are a ton of great artists out there.
Right.
And music now today is more accessible than any time in this world. Why? Because people have choice. You've got iTunes, Spotify, you've got all of these wonderful streaming services where you can listen to new music and sample it. I just think artists have to work on their performances, work on their craft. And
right.
From a standpoint, I think when you do that and you put on a great show, you will get more opportunities.
Right.
I think less bluff, less, I got social media, hey, and that's what it is. For whatever genre of music you are, I think when you produce quality, that will always win. And so that's my recommendation to help alleviate that problem. It's just the quality of the work. And I think some of our old guys and our old cats, myself included, and the same suspect as you mentioned, that's an era where musicians love what they do. They took the craft serious.
Gotcha.
And so they come out and people don't mind, spending that money on a ticket. Look, Patti LaBelle, Stephanie Mills haven't made a new album in a while.
Right.
But guess what? You're gonna go to that show, Frankie
Yep.
Beverly Hayes. You gonna
Yeah.
Frankie ain't put a record out. How long? But he
don't know.
packs out. He packs out everywhere he goes. Why? Because that's gonna be a show. The Whispers.
Right.
Those are great shows,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the reason why I think artists need to learn from that, and then take that as a lesson moving forward.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna go into the next phase of questions here. Now, guys, can you hear me out there? Because I sound loud in the studio here, so I don't know. Anyway, now let's talk about the upcoming event, and I think along with many others, now the Black Excellence Festival. It's more than just music. I mean, what else is going on with this? And then we'll get into the music too.
So let's just start. Black Excellence is just that. It's a festival and celebration of Black culture.
Mm-hmm.
And because we're such a diverse, talented, smart group of folks, we have a lot to offer, right? So it's just a highlight of Black culture, celebrated on a day of reflection, Juneteenth. You know, a lot of people call it Emancipation Day. And so we wanted to choose Juneteenth to showcase the African-American experience in a way I think that's not normally done.
Mm-hmm.
And so we do that through a variety of different ways, film, television. And I've got some big announcements to make right here on your show.
Okay, now. All right.
I made some on another show. Ron, I guess Gyroscope Media gets the scoop because the last time I was on a Gyroscope produced on this network, I unveiled some other major stuff, but
All right.
got something great for you.
Okay.
And that's really what it is. It's Black culture. It's our responsibility as a people to support one another because no one else is going to do it for us.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to give a few shout outs and then we're going to start to go deeper. Here we go. Kim, how you doing? Momo, what's up? Stephen Craig is in the house. Okay. Frankie Vibe, what's up? Sarah Usher. Vanessa L. Smith. Vanessa's got a new track. Brothers and sisters. All right. A lot of energy. Oh, my goodness. Sehada is in the house. I'm sorry if I messed your name up. Hey, Joy, what's up? Shalene from sunny Florida is in the house. Oh, my goodness. All these people that came out to see you. Ken Reed is in the house. Oh, my goodness. All right. So we'll come back to some more. Hey, folks, share. We're getting ready to go deep now. Okay, so now, what's the vision and the mission? What's the vision and the mission for what you're doing? Because, again, we see a festival, and the festival's good. But, you know, when you're doing stuff at the level you're doing it, it's not just a festival and that's it. There's something else going on. Talk to us.
Yes. Well, number one is business.
Okay.
First thing. This
is
business.
Hey.
This is business, and I say this big business, but in a great way, and I'll break it down. But our purpose really is providing tools during the weekend, tools for, see, when you go to a festival, you go to Essence, you go to Circle of Sisters, right? It's great, you rah, you go, but then you go back home to real life.
Right.
Face those things. So we wanted to build and curate an experience of culture where we can educate, unite African Americans in ways that they could take back home. And we do that through a variety of things. Films, the music, it's all curated and experienced. And so more than a festival, we want people to walk away with, hey, well, I had a great time, but hey, you know, that workshop and panel that I was on was as great as the house music party I went to. And I could network And then I looked at the Black shopping marketplace and now understand the value of e-commerce and supporting Black businesses and recirculating the dollar. Now I understand maybe I was a poor manager of money, and learn what those transactions meant to my family, or you know what, maybe I picked up some tools. It's Father's Day weekend, and you know how to be a better dad, how to be a better husband, a better wife, a better whatever. And so that is the reason for the festival. It's to highlight us in a way that I don't think African Americans are being showcased, because we don't own a lot of the media nor the content.
Right.
See, it's one thing to do it. So the mechanism, and that's why shows like yours are extremely important. It's reasons why Gyroscope, because we get to go directly to folks that look like us with a story. And as we dive deeper, I'll give you more reason, but that's our purpose. Celebration of Black excellence, celebration of the African American experience, and then we do that with a series of events. And I guess your next question will lead into that, and I'll kind of tie it up a little bit more as we go in.
Right. Well, yeah. You do want to have the impact. Well, so I'm gonna ask. It's really like a two-part question, you know, and you kind of said it. Some what do you want to accomplish, but also too, what it sounds like too, we're missing something too. From your perspective, you know, what do we have and what are we missing? What do we need to add to the recipe, so to speak?
Okay. Great question. Great question. The mission, purpose, and the ingredients that make up all of these things. And so I've, over the years, have been concerned, you know, you cancel the new Arsenio Hall show, cancel Robert Townsend's show,
right?
Which they had great viewers, and I understand that, you know, it takes a lot to produce those shows, the talent. But however, you replace it with Love and Hip Hop, you replace it with, and I have nothing against those shows.
Right.
The problem that I have with Black Ink and some of these shows, there needs to be a balance, right? And so we see our women, you know, drug across the floor, called the B word. You know, everybody's twerking, showing their butt. I slept with your wife. He slept with my husband. We don't own BET.
Right.
We no longer own that. The quality shows that we were used to seeing have disappeared, replaced by all of this drama and these reality TV shows. So I think the image of African Americans that's pouring through mainstream media does not reflect the greatness that we have of people. So my counter to that is, besides excellence, I'm going to build the biggest festival on Juneteenth in the nation.
Okay.
And I can tell you that it's not me saying that. Last year we had the largest African American fest, not Juneteenth. Last year, and this is in the press, this is what they told me, and I was amazed. Last year, whether it was because of COVID, right? Essence didn't happen, but because Essence didn't go last year, the Black Excellence Festival was the largest cultural festival in the United States last year.
Wow.
And that came from a dedicated team. To this year will be the largest Juneteenth festival in the nation, right? Essence has returned. But to tie that into a knot, it is because we control the narrative. And we do that through the music.
Right.
Right. We've got who's considered the gospel king of gospel house music, Kenny Bobian performing.
Right.
Right. We've got the Black Excellence Film Festival, where we had over 50 films submitted. They're coming to the BE Festival for the final screenings and getting those awards. These are produced by Black film directors, actors. These are projects that we are telling our story. So we control the narrative of how African Americans are seen. That's headed up by Malik Yoba, from New York Undercover. And so we're taking the festival piece by piece. You're gonna walk in and see 100, 25, 150 African-American small businesses on a big stage selling products. So now you're buying, you're shopping, they're taking that money, right? Paying for their kids' colleges, paying for light bills, paying car notes. So we do that through a variety of ways, which makes this festival different from any other festival because of our approach. This Praise Fest, right? We wrap this around Praise Fest. That's where Frankie Vibe and Pastor Page, Christopher Smalls, my son, Apostle Marvin Cratch. We're baptizing. The goal is to baptize 1,000 souls Saturday morning in front of the showboat, right? So that's taking place inside the building. This Praise Fest. So the event is curated around the Black experience, where we can look at us as an entire culture, and then minister to that culture through a variety of different ways. And that's what the experience is. It's the why, it's the what, and it's the reason that we're so motivated going into Juneteenth. And then to do it on a national holiday for us is also just drives home that point.
You know, I mean, you've shared a lot in a small period of time. I got more stuff, and you know, like this is one of those conversations that I wish I had a couple of hours just to unpack just one thought here. How about this? Now, this is a big event. Let's talk about. I mean, why is it on this scale? You're talking about the biggest in America. Wait a minute. Most people are trying to pack a bar. You're like trying to pack a stadium. I mean, like, talk to us about the mindset. Talk to us about, let's say, if you're getting in this business, or if you're going to do it. First of all, you realize it's a business. But if you're going to be doing this, why are you shooting for the stars as opposed to just throwing the rock down the street? Talk to us. Mindset and big versus small.
I tell you, it has nothing to do with me.
Okay.
Let's be clear. Number one, it has nothing to do with me. I understand the assignment. So let's take this back to reason.
Okay.
I love music. I've loved it since I was a kid. But for my folks, church folks, and not even non-church folks, one of the verses in the Bible tells us, in my Father's house, there are many mansions.
Many mansions, right.
So just think about that for a second, of how large the kingdom of heaven must be.
Right.
And in my Father's house, there are many mansions. So in his home, there's room for everything else. So my mandate, my mission that was given to me, so I said, I have nothing to do with this. I was tasked to go out and find the largest location that I could. Right. This was all developed in the pandemic, right? When I wasn't working and hadn't worked in 2 years because I do events. So I was home and hadn't did anything. And so the vision came to me was go with a phone call, and I followed up, found the biggest place. So we rent, let me just say this, 2 million square feet.
Wow.
Is the showboat, indoors, outdoor. So I rented the entire showboat hotel.
Okay, let me just
not a room, not a ballroom. I'm talking about 14 ballrooms, 5 parking lots, the outdoor beach, the entire hotel. We owned that for 3 days.
Okay, now, just so you know, I understand 2 million. I'm in the real estate business. So
Yes, sir.
when you say 2 million square feet, folks, you're talking beyond big. You're talking beyond huge. You're talking about all that put together. Okay, go ahead.
So then you say, well, why so big?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna tell you why it's so big, because that was the first mandate. And the crazy thing is, I closed that deal with ease. That wasn't the hardest part.
Wow.
Right? And we did so well. Now I'm in a 6-year. I re-upped. I'm in a 6-year contract.
Okay.
So gaining the property wasn't that big, but I tie it back to in my Father's house, there are many mansions.
Many mansions.
The reason why it's so big, because I can go now and partner up with Steve Davis. I can go and partner up with Stephen Craig.
Right.
Some of the biggest shows. Guess what? I have room for them to take their dreams of
Gotcha.
having the biggest house music festival in the nation, we're gonna put it inside that's just one mansion inside the biggest house.
Many mansions.
Then I went to Praise Fest.
Okay.
We got some of the biggest preachers to have the biggest Praise Fest in the country as we're building it, and I can take it and put it in the house.
Gotcha.
Then the Black Shopping Pavilion Network. I can get all the Black businesses and put them in a mansion. Now they got their own mansion. So the vision is not mine. The vision was made so that anybody that God bless with talent, they have a home. And I have nothing to do with that. So I'm not competing over, well, no, come in and do everything. So we could put 20, 30,000 house music folks to come in and enjoy the best. I could turn around and put 20,000, 30,000 people to come in the Praise Fest, Food Truck Festival. We got the Film Festival coming thing. So that was the task, was find a house that could fit many mansions and find a place where I could send my people to celebrate the culture, and that we don't have to worry about, oh, this is mine. No, I just step out of the way. And then God brought Steve Davis, Stephen Craig. He brought Apostle Cratch. He brought my film people. And now there's a home for African Americans on Juneteenth to show the best of what we do. So in terms of thinking big, I tell you this, Magic Johnson said, it takes the same amount of effort to make $1 million. I'm gonna talk on the level that Magic said 100 million. He said $100 billion as it does $1 million. So it takes the same amount of effort to make $1 million as it does to make $1,000. So why not think big and go make the $1 million?
I agree.
Because the effort is the same.
I agree.
It's the vision that you have. So that's how that started. And then God equipped me with the tools. And then once he said go, I wasn't even worried about it. And I truly, honestly believe that, because when I tell you that he made this possible, there is no other explanation. Gotcha. There's none I can give you. I can't come up with this fantastic story that I did all of this wonderful stuff and I'm the best. No, I can't tell you. I got a phone call and, I went to the showboat and I said, well, I need the whole building. And they came back and said so-and-so and so-and-so. And then I said, no, I don't want to take one ballroom. I don't want anybody else in here on Juneteenth.
Gotcha.
And then Bart Blatstein, who's the owner, super billionaire out of Pennsylvania, owns the showboat, and got a chance to meet him and then his team, and they came back and said, let's rock and roll. They believe in what we're doing.
I got to tell
and
you
that's
something.
that's honestly how it happened. I pick up the phone and just things happen. So, but it's not me, it's God. God is good.
I got to tell you something. And hey, when you're spirit led, doors open, things happen. So yesterday, I went to this party, and it was a guy that I've been trying to do an interview with for some time. And I didn't even know this person was going to be there. But guess what? You're talking about the Lord working. The gentleman sat, they placed him, they sat him right next to me.
That's exactly how it is.
How could that be? I've been trying to do an interview with this guy. I would say easy, 7, 8, 9 years. And boom, right next to me. How about that?
It's called alignment.
Okay, all right.
It's alignment. When you're walking in alignment, miraculous things happen. I mean, I could name them all. It's work. Don't let me confuse it. Because to whom much is given, much is required.
Right.
That doesn't mean that you don't have to do the work.
Right.
Like you've got it. There's preparation. There are things that you have to do. But God also blesses those that bless them, help themselves. Right.
Right.
And so the task is enormous. The work that comes with it is enormous, but he sends you the people that you need to pull it off. And I thank him for one quick thing. So we did the comedy show last year, and I had Big Mama talent, and craziest thing is I said, you know what? I put a post out earlier in the year. I said I want to bring some house music to the BE Festival this year. This was back in early, and so comedian Big Mama, who's joining us again, we got to, and I'll run down the itinerary who's there the weekend. But Big Mama said, if you're gonna do a house music thing, you better not call anybody but my friend Steve Davis and them guys and Stephen Craig. You gotta call them. I'm gonna give you the number, and you can't do house music without having them involved. And that's what she told me. I just put a general post out there.
Right.
And she took it, and through Big Mama, I called them, or she gave them my number. I think I called, we chatted, and we said we're gonna meet in Atlantic City. Never met these brothers before. Didn't even know them. We met at the Showboat. And I walked them through, showed them the vision, gave them a tour, and I think Stephen Craig came Friday. Davis couldn't come till Saturday, but so I met with Stephen Craig Friday and then Steve Davis Saturday. I was looking down for the weekend, and they both got it instantly, and said, "Wow, oh my goodness." We've been trying to do the same thing. I said, well, I introduced him to general manager and president of the hotel. And I said, listen, I got the whole building. Let's put it together. And it was really that easy. Wow. And that's how you know these things are destined to happen, because God placed them right there at the time. He placed me here. And then he just made sure that we met in the middle.
Listen, for those of you who are not scripturally inclined, get scripturally inclined. How about that? We're past our point, but you know what? This is important. So we're going to keep going here. So I'm going to ask you to hang out with us, because this is really, really important stuff here on several levels: events, mindset, spiritually. Okay. Now, who should attend this event?
Ask that again, because you broke up just a little bit.
Who should attend an event like this? Who should attend this event?
Everyone. So here's the beautiful thing. There's something for everybody. It's Father's Day weekend. It's Black Music Month. It's Carnival, Pride celebrated. We have something from beginning to end. Like, we didn't even talk about all the events. So children, come. There's book author inside the Showboat Hotel. There's the largest arcade on the East Coast. So you got over 250 different arcade games. They just built a raceway inside of the hotel. It's family friendly, so your children can come and have a great time. And that's the beauty of this event. Dads get on the race car. Then, of course, you got the world famous beach, the boardwalk, the Ferris wheel.
Right.
We provide entertainment, film festival, Black businesses, concerts. I haven't even talked about, we know about Kenny Bobby, and we know about the house party on Friday night. There's the BE Comedy Jam hosted by Talent and Big Mama and friends. They're bringing out superstar lineup of comedians. There's the Saturday night celebration of hip hop and R&B with Horace Brown, CL Smooth, Positive K and Elias performing Saturday night. There's the HBCU day party on Saturday. Kenny Bobby performing live on the beach. Malik Yoba coming in to host the film festival. Stephen Anthony King, Dr. Casual Pitts, State of New Jersey Television and Film Commission. I haven't even mentioned that project. That project alone is that I made a post on social media. You look on my page. New Jersey State Television Film Commission will be at the BE Festival.
Wow.
Right? They're there to support the Black Excellence Film Festival. We're opening up camps through a variety of grants. So the BE Film Festival is, we're going to be teaching kids and people that want to produce movies and films through a series of federal grants. We're starting our own film studio and classes in schools.
Wow.
There's that coming on. You'll hear this coming from the Chief Diversity Officer, the State of New Jersey Film Commission is making a presentation before Malik Yoba. There's so many events. It is, everyone should come. The hotel is pet friendly. Bring the dog. Celebrate Father's Day. You can come in there if you can get a room. So
Okay.
this event is for the Black Excellence family, was created to have the entire family to participate and share in a celebratory thought, reflection of how we got here, our purpose to give us strength, to provide us with tools, opportunities. And the biggest way is to watch other success. I need to see it. Well, watch and see the small business. Learn how to have your book published. Learn how, if you're in the film, music, whatever it is, we have it all. So I want to see the entire family pack up the Winnebago, the station wagon, pack up the dog, and come on down and join us this Friday through Sunday. And you can go to church on Sunday and praise the Lord. I'm getting rededicated in the 10 o'clock registration, 12 o'clock baptism, or rededication. So if you're scared you're going to miss church, you can bring your tithes and offerings right on down to the beach. Amen.
All right. Folks, would you guys move on? This is the $100 line. Oh, would you, excuse me, sir, would you step aside? This is the $1,000 line. If you're not putting, I'm sorry.
No, listen, wait. So I told you my uncle was founded, at the time in the 60s, founded the largest African-American church in Philadelphia at the time, Big Night Baptist Church. So my dad, his brother, he says, well, my dad could preach too, but he wasn't ordained. He wasn't an ordained minister, as my uncle was. So he lets my dad come up and do the offering. My uncle used to tell this story all the time. He says, your father got up there, had one of the most eloquent offerings we've ever heard. And then your dad says, please, let us not hear the jingling of change. Soothe the ears of the Lord by the rustling of paper. My uncle threw up his hands and said, no, your father did not tell them to change and put only bills in the plate. He said, but you know what? That was one of the largest offerings we had in the church. So I get when you say $1,000 line, it sounds like something my dad would have said from the pulpit. So I don't know if he ever got invited back to speak at my uncle. But my uncle did say it was one of the best things he's ever heard. And he just ended it on that note.
Excuse me, sir. Let me see your tithing card. This is the tithing section. If you, okay, let's move on. All right. Okay, so a couple more things here as we come in for a soft landing. What do you want people to take away from this event?
To know that they're worthy, to know that being Black is not a burden, to know that African Americans have contributed to the foundations of America, as my great-grandfather Robert Smalls has done. And in spite of whatever pressures that we're under, we are a resilient, beautiful Black people, that we have a lot to offer, and that we really have to understand our self-worth, our value, and make sure we do hold ourselves to a higher standard, not for the pleasing of anyone, but that because God blessed us with such talent and such ability, and we need to honor that and honor Him, return to Him what He has given us. And so I want folks to walk away with that, knowing that you are somebody. You are special. You were made in wonderful image of Christ and God Himself. And that we have so much more work to do. And we cannot get there without you participating. So come and join us at the Black Excellence Festival as we celebrate our history, as we celebrate our culture, and as we enjoy fellowship amongst ourselves and watch amazingly talented people put on display the gifts that they have been given.
Wow, you should be preaching, brother. Anyway.
Well, can we do the offering right now? Cash App, $ Brooklyn Media 2, Cash App right now.
Okay.
This is a big festival. We just need you guys to turn out, get some tickets. TheBEFestival.com, TheBEFestival.com, TheBEFestival.com. Get your tickets. General admission is $15. You can purchase the a la carte comedy show, house music, celebration of hip hop. Malik Yoba's there for 2 days, premiering 2 films. Stephen Anthony King from Les Brown is doing a power packed session. Dr. Casual Pitts, Steve Davis, Steve Craig, Steve Mason out of WDAS Philadelphia, Exotic out of Baltimore, Beloved, and DJ Qua. Come on, I know I'm missing somebody. Charge it to my head and not my heart. We've got every DJ from New York, the Black Excellence Festival, BE House Music Festival. Black Excellence Music Festival takes place Juneteenth weekend. Showboat Hotel. Tickets are on sale now. TheBEFestival.com. Or they could just hit Soulful House Nation. Follow Soulful House Nation. Instagram. I know you. I see the Facebook page because I got it running in the background. Click the link on your page. Get the tickets. I know you're gonna be in the building. Trying to get Ron. I know Ron. We were working on it. I waited till the last minute, but I hope Ron can still make it. I heard we got the lines. So it's gonna be a glorious weekend for us. We want to please share this interview, support this channel, support this show, because this is what Black Excellence is. Black Excellence is Soulful House Nation. Black Excellence is Gyroscope Media. Black Excellence is Steve Davis, Stephen Craig Entertainment. It's all of those things. We're showcasing what Black Excellence is. And we're looking at it now, and we're on a Black Excellence programming right now that has gone in. So that's what this is. It's a weekend for us.
How much are tickets? Let's say if you want an all-inclusive pass. First part of the question. The second part of the question: are you going to record this event? Only because, let's say, people can't make it for whatever reason, they can come back and maybe buy it or whatever. So, 2 questions. Part 2, how much does it cost overall? And then the second part is, are you going to record the event? So, even if you want to come back and relive it, is that happening?
Okay, so 2 things. One is, there's so many different wonderful events, right? So many different things. What we decided was the best option is you can build the experience that you want. So it's a la carte. So I want to take, maybe my dad, doesn't want to do the house party, or he doesn't want, but he wants to go to Praise Fest, right? And he wants to enjoy this. You can build your experience, and our prices are reasonably. Tickets are from $15 to $45. So you can build the experience. The BE Festival was not because we're all geniuses.
Yeah.
It's like Build-A-Bear. You can pick and put together a package that will give you the best weekend and experience, and you can enjoy that. If you don't want to go to the comedy, but you want to go to house, and that's your focus, you can pick that package. You can put that package together. So you'll find all of that on the BEFestival.com. And I forgot to mention the free concerts, R&B Live, free concert on the main stage being sponsored by Tusk Rum and Black Storm Vodka. You're going to get, can't tell you who she is. I can only tell you she was on The Voice. It's going to tear the stage up on the first level, but you can build that experience. We will be filming and recording as we did last year. And that's one of the big announcements. We, through, the state of New Jersey Television and Film, we're getting ready to launch BETV.
Woo. Okay, now.
So that's why you're going to see the New Jersey State Television and Film Commission in the building. We're capturing it. We've got some major announcements coming. I'm just super excited. You're gonna see Denzel Washington, Alfred Wood, and Morgan Freeman walking down the red carpet of the Black Excellence Film Festival. And so this will be, we're currently negotiating and putting together the digital package now, where we're going to be streamed directly into, it's major. I'm gonna let it happen. We're still prayerful. But our mentor is Byron Allen. If any of our folks know another Byron Allen, and how the model that he set before us. And so with Super Partners, CRETA has been, that's the Casino Redevelopment Authority out of Atlantic City, is one of our big sponsors through grants. Marty Small, the mayor, I was on his show over the weekend, Friday and Saturday. The mayors of Atlantic City has opened arms for the Black Excellence Festival. Tower Investments, which owns the Showboat, got to thank their staff, and Bart Blatstein and Brandon as well over there, just have been amazing. The artists, my staff. Really quick, I have to thank Lori Goodman, my COO, Alana Gardner, who's our de facto legal advisor. I've got to thank Diane Mateel, who's done that, Chanel, Angelique, Brico's all the way in California, and so many people, the folks on the Steve and just so many, Steve to the second power. Let's just cover them all. And just so many people that have put this together. So yeah, we're excited and hope folks can make it out this weekend.
All right. What's on the horizon for you guys and what you're doing? Because I know this is an event on the way in terms of your big vision. What can we look forward that you can share?
So a much bigger festival, if that's possible, right? Okay. So our goal is to bring 30 to 40,000 African Americans to celebrate our history. And then we're going to do that in a variety of ways. But what's on the horizon is growing all of these business units. I'm thankful. Here's what's on the horizon for us. And we get to say this now. Right? I hear a lot of people say Black, but guess what? We've hired all Black entertainers who are getting a paycheck. We've hired the Black graphic designers that have produced our content and our handout materials, tickets. Okay. We have got all of the amount of money. We're running over $1 million of African American e-commerce through Black. I've hired 14 people. 6 a day, 12 folks directly from CRDA, African Americans, that we reach back into Atlantic City and hire them. So what's on the horizon is to employ us, to continue to hire us, provide opportunities, and grow that in so many different areas. And we're going to grow the film business line. We're going to grow the entertainment line, the Black small businesses. And what's on the horizon is, it's up now, the blackshoppingnetworks.com. It's out on Amazon. Black, BLACK, shopping, SHOPPING, networks with an S, NETWORKS.com, blackshoppingnetworks.com. Every vendor that you see at the BE Festival or Women of Color Expo, at this festival, the expos that we do throughout the year, you'll be able to buy their products on the blackshoppingnetworks.com. And we've created our own e-commerce portal like Amazon, where you buy directly from the business. And so we're supporting that. That's a huge initiative that it's up, it's growing, and you'll see that explode, where we can circulate the African American dollar amongst ourselves not only in Atlantic City, but to do that worldwide. And that's probably our biggest achievement, is us pumping money back into the African American community by all the hiring that we've done, paying the artists, hiring, like I said, hiring Black talent, making sure that we are supporting and not talking a good game. But guess what? The BE Festival is actually doing what its mission is. And we're leading and showing the way of how folks can come together. The stereotype is not us killing each other. Look at the BE Festival, look at this greatness. Look at us on TV right now as African Americans. These are the images that should be shown.
Right.
They should show us doing all of these positive things. And then if they won't do it, that's why it was a need to create the BE Festival.
Okay. You know, like you have this big desire to give back. I mean, why? You could just take all your marbles, go home. You've done okay for yourself. And, I mean, why do you feel this need to, I don't know, to help people? I guess that's the easiest way to put it, you know.
Well, I ask you a question. All that you have, when you leave this earth, are you going to take it with you?
Absolutely not.
So what's the point?
Gotcha.
What's the point?
Right.
Only thing you're going to take with you are the memories and what you've done for people. This earth that we live here is temporary. So what's the sense of amassing all of those things? What's the point? There is no point. To whom much is given, much is required. And so when you understand the assignment, your purpose, and your mission, it's easy to do it. I don't do it because, I'm giving back. No, that's what we're supposed to do.
Right. Gotcha.
We've had people that paved the way. The reason why you're on radio is because someone else took a beating to be on radio.
Right. Absolutely.
The reason why you can hold the mic, or Ron could have a station where he can put other people's points of view out there, is because somebody died to make that happen.
Right.
So you owe that. As Muhammad Ali says, your services to others is the rent that you pay to be on the earth.
Yep. Yeah.
So it's not even hard to figure out. Sometimes I'm not the nicest person in the world. Has nothing to do with me being, I'm the greatest guy, I could go home. No, it just has something to understand that this is bigger than me. Whatever I have, I'm not leaving here at all. So, I understand the assignment. And guess what? I'm living my best life now in what I'm doing. This is my best life.
Got you. Any final thoughts? And before we come in for a soft landing, and if people want to reach you, support you, keep up with you, how do they do it?
Easiest way is go to thebefestival.com. THEBE, Black Excellence is what the B stands for. Thebefestival.com. There are links to all of our social media there. I even have the business telephone number there, so you can text me directly. And just support. Come out, and the biggest thing you could do is buy a ticket. We have BE Black Excellence t-shirts that go up on sale later tonight. Purchase the ticket, give it to someone, purchase a t-shirt, support a business. And most of all, the best thing you can do is pray for us and encourage somebody else. Continue to support Gyroscope Media. Continue to support Soulful House Nation. Continue to support Black businesses, whether it's us or it's somebody else. Those are the ways that you can help, because when you strengthen the community, you absolutely strengthen us.
Any final thoughts?
God is good.
Okay. Listen.
God is good. And listen,
right,
the shortest verse, the shortest chapter in the Bible is what, in case some people don't know. The shortest in the Bible. Jesus wept. God is good. I added one word. God is good.
Wow. I got to tell you something. This is incredible. I know you're going to have craziness this week. We got to talk offline.
Yes,
you're doing so many things that, first of all, have a positive impact. Number one. Number two, you set an example. Number three, you are inspiring people to say, hey, wait a minute, I have an idea. I probably need to move on it. So we're going to talk offline. Got a lot of stuff going on. Well, listen,
Bring it to the BE Festival. There's so many brilliant people. If you have a business, if you want to get involved in film, radio, still hope Ron can make it. You want to have a radio show like you. Ron is here. We got folks, if you want, Malik Yoba's telling you how to get into the film business. Dr. Casual Pitts is a millionaire book author, tell you how to make $1 million on your book. Bring all those thoughts, questions, bring it down to the BE Festival. And I'm looking definitely to network with you personally.
Absolutely.
Off the chat.
All right. Folks, thank you so much for coming out and hanging out. I know we ran a little bit over, but sometimes you have to do that. So the plane is going to land a little bit late, but I got to tell you, it's been worth the ride.
And we serve snacks too. Amen.
Okay, now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, DJ Dan with Soulful House Nation. I'm coming to you live from the 8th floor. Get ready, get ready, get ready. As you know, we're going to go into the Shazam free zone. We're going to lead off with the song. Chuck, I might as well play it from here, and then we're going to go over to Twitch. I'm going to ask Chuck. I also want to give a big shout out to Joy, my niece. Congratulations. She's graduating today, and she's going to have her degree, associate degree in culinary arts. I got to tell you something. I never got the hang of cooking, but you know what? I got the hang of eating. And thank you so much, folks. We're gonna venture off to the other side of things. We're gonna get on to the Shazam free